Hi folks, Tim Sundles here again from Africa. We're winding down our time in Africa, and my wife specifically told me to say that my beautiful wife is filming this on her iPhone because she said on the last couple of videos I forgot to say my beautiful wife was filming this on her iPhone. So now I'm probably more in the doghouse than I was before I said that. I want to talk about something that needs to be discussed. Short video. How many of you have bought a new gun to you, whether it's a used gun or a new gun? I assume anybody watching this has at some time in their life been given a new gun, bought a new gun. A huge mistake that I see happening, and I've even seen it destroy guns, is people forget to look down the barrel of a new gun before they fire it. I've run home with new guns, and I don't care if they're new from the factory. I could tell you, I own over 600 guns, right? And the bulk of those I bought new from a factory, but not all of them. And I can tell you guns I've bought new from a factory and looked down the barrel and seen chunks of styrofoam in it. Wouldn't it be great to pull the trigger on a high pressure round like a 22-250 with little styrofoam balls in the barrel? I mean, I've seen huge amounts of dust. Some barrels used to come with cosmoline in them, and you don't see as much of that anymore. Cosmoline is a kind of an oil wax based preservative, I believe. That's what it's based on. Somebody will probably correct me, but it's still cosmoline, and I've seen guns blow up from that. You know, a lot of old military guns that were sold secondhand on the used market came with cosmolined barrels, and that takes a little work to get all that out, actually. Seen huge amounts of dust. I've seen wood chips, like wood splinters in barrels on new guns. I don't know how it gets in the gun. I don't know, but it's there. And if the gun barrel was oiled before it was sold to you, there's two problems with that. Doesn't take very much oil at all in a high pressure cartridge to cause a bore obstruction. That's the first problem. Second problem is it collects dust. You know, if that gun has been stored for 10 years in a dusty area, not only is the barrel lined with oil that is all gummed up now and a worse bore obstruction, but it's got dust in it, which is an even worse bore obstruction.
But this is all the seller's fault, not your fault for not
Yeah,
checking.
you buy a gun before you shoot it, you need to know what the crap you're doing. You know, and in America, people can go to McDonald's, get a cup of hot coffee, and spill it in their own lap and sue McDonald's and win several $100,000 because nobody accepts responsibility. And you know, now all you can get at McDonald's is lukewarm coffee. You can't even get a hot coffee. I mean, America's pathetic with the lack of accountability that we have taught this to people. You know, if their sixth grade basketball team loses the basketball game, they still get a trophy. They get a participation trophy. You know, we need to learn that there's consequences for everything. Instead of blaming everybody else, it's never our fault. Well, when you buy a new gun, whether it's a used gun, a new gun, the first thing you do is look down the bore. And most debris in a bore is noticeable if it's there, if there's enough of it to make a bore obstruction when fired, but not always. I have a policy I follow, be it handgun or rifle. I take the handgun and I get a wire brush with solvent. I usually use Barnes CR10. I'm not looking to do a thorough cleaning here. I'm not looking to completely defoul the barrel of lead deposits, of copper or gilding metal deposits. I'm not looking to do a thorough cleaning. I'm just looking to get any potential obstruction out of the bore. So I'll get an appropriately sized bore brush. I'll drip some CR10 on it, make 4 or 5 passes, drip some more CR10 on it, make 4 or 5 more passes, and then run 2 or 3 dry patches down the barrel. You always want to dry patch a barrel that you just put oil or solvent in. Because if you don't, the solvent you leave in it or the oil you leave in it can also cause a bore obstruction, especially if you're shooting high pressure jacketed bullets. If you're shooting pure lead, soft bullets, it doesn't matter as much. Still matters. Doesn't matter as much. Jacketed, gilding metal jacketed bullets, especially if they have a hard core in them, can really cause pressure problems if there's any kind of bore obstruction. So consider this just a public service message. And, you buy a new gun, you buy a used gun, it's still new to you. Make sure the bore is free of obstructions before you fire. Don't just stick ammo in it and start blasting, because that first shot can really surprise you.
And stupid hurts.
Well, stupid is supposed to hurt. Another thing on revolvers, depending on how many chambers your cylinder has in it, follow that process for the chambers. A lot of revolvers, small frame revolvers, are only 5 shots. Other revolvers are 6 shots. I think Smith & Wesson makes a couple on the end frame that are 357s that are 8-shot cylinders. However many chambers are in your cylinder, just make sure they're free of obstruction before you fire the gun, and everybody's going to be happier, and you won't be hiring attorneys blaming somebody else for something you should have checked into and that you are clearly responsible for checking into. God bless you, folks. Hope this little message keeps somebody from having a surprise, or worse yet, an injury. And we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.